Welcome back to another episode of How to Convince with Lawyer Vince. We are on our third podcast, and I'm so excited you guys are still here with me on your journey to improve your communication skills. Today's topic is stop being nice because it's the real reason why you're being disrespected. And it might sound harsh to just say stop being nice, but being nice isn't the compliment that you think it is. If you've ever been in a conversation where you felt like you disappeared or your needs just weren't met, but yet you still smile through it because you're a people pleaser, this video is for you. Let's break it down. Nice sounds good. It's polite, it gets praise, but being nice often leads you to feeling overwhelmed, overworked, and overlooked. And let's be honest, being nice is oftentimes performative, and it's about being liked and not about being honest. It often leads us down the road feeling confused, feeling resentment and burnout. Now let's compare that with being kind. Kindness is different. Kindness is clear, it's honest, and kindness says, I respect you and I respect myself. And that's the energy we want. Now let's go through 3 real life examples that are phrases that we commonly say or hear that highlight the difference between being nice versus being kind. Number 1. Nice says, I'm totally fine with that. How many of you had said that phrase and regretted it almost immediately, right? It's because you're a people pleaser and you immediately wanted to appease the other person. But what happened was you were forgetting your own needs. Kindness says, I'm willing to help, but I do have my limits. You see the difference there? One is thinking about the other person's time and not your own, while the other is setting and managing those expectations with honest communication from the get-go. 2. Nice says, no worries at all. Kind says, this matters to me, let's talk about it. The big difference here is nice is you're kicking the can down the road. You're thinking that this is not that big of a problem, maybe I shouldn't bring it up. And so you take on the burden yourself. You're carrying it yourself and all these little incremental sacrifices that you make. What ends up happening is you bottle it up and then you end up exploding in the end because you are so overcome with resentment. You're feeling like, how come no one else is making these sacrifices? Why is it always you? It's always you giving and them taking. But the issue is you weren't being honest from the get-go. You weren't being honest with your communication, and that's being kind. When you are kind, you're being kind to yourself and you're expressing your needs. And there's no issue with expressing what you need. 3. Nice says, whatever works for you. Kind says, I do have a preference. Let's talk about it so we can find something that works for both of us. See, the first part is you're just being a people pleaser again, right? Being nice is just saying, yeah, like whatever you want, I'm cool with it. But what ends up happening, right, is say you commit to hanging out with a friend or getting a dinner and you're thinking, actually, I don't really want to go there because it's too far. It's out of your budget. Or, you don't have the availability on that day or that time. But you said yes anyways because you wanted to be nice. But what ends up happening is it backfires on you. Now you are running late for other things on your day, or now you are spending way more money than you had planned on budgeting for the month. And that's going to end up creating resentment. And you might start subconsciously thinking, I don't really want to spend time with this friend anymore. Or when you're actually at the dinner, you're not having a good time because you're already in a bad mood, right? These are all things that could have been prevented if you spoke with kindness, if you were upfront and you found something that worked for both of you. You see this play out everywhere. At work, when you say yes to more than you can handle, or in your relationships, when you downplay what hurts you, and even in your friendships, when you keep showing up, but you never feel seen. And then what happens? You're nice until you snap, right? You're agreeable until you burn out, and you're polite until you feel invisible. That's not peace. That's quiet suffering. So how do you switch from being nice to being kind? Well, here are 3 tips that I want you to focus on next time you feel like you're in this people-pleasing situation. Number 1, lead with I, the letter I. I need more time. I'm not comfortable with that. Or I want to be honest with you. When you focus on the word I in the beginning of your sentence, it starts training your brain to think about what do you need and not just how can I please the other person. 2, don't over-apologize. I don't want you to start your sentences saying, sorry, or I don't mean to be rude, but you're not being rude. You're just being real. 3, prioritize truth over approval. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You just need to be respected by yourself. You know the famous saying, people care about others, they care about themselves. Once you start focusing and caring about yourself, people will reciprocate. So if you've been performing niceness and you find yourself in situations where you're saying yes when you really should have said no or maybe, and you're silencing yourself because you're trying to avoid tension, well, this video is your permission to stop. Stop being nice and start being kind. Not that you're supposed to be mean, right? But because you're done disappearing. If this video hit home for you, I want you to comment kind over nice. And I also put together a free resource. It's in the caption. It's a free PDF of all of the phrases we talked about today and other common phrases that we use that we don't even realize that we're being nice instead of kind. So use that and use that as like a script or a guide on your day-to-day conversations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because every single week I'll be teaching you how to speak with power, protect your peace, and say the right thing when it matters most. This is How to Convince with Lawyer Vince, and I'll see you same time next week.